I still remember the day I first met President Amelia Rhodes. It's a day etched into my memory forever. She wasn't just any president, she was the youngest female president our country had ever had. Brilliant, fearless, and, if I'm being honest, completely terrifying. I had just been hired as a speechwriter at the White House. It was a job I never, ever dreamed I'd land. On my first day, I was so nervous. I felt like I could faint at any moment, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared me for what happened next. Ms. Carter, a stern voice cut through my nervous haze. A Secret Service agent was looking right at me. The president wants to see you. Now, my palms went instantly clammy. My heart started hammering against my ribs like it was trying to escape. I followed him through the grand, intimidating hallway of the West Wing, each step feeling heavier than the last. When I walked into the Oval Office, President Rhodes looked up from a stack of papers. Her sharp blue eyes scanned me from head to toe, and I swear it felt like she could read my entire soul in that single glance. "You're the new writer," she said. Her voice was cool, calm, but it held an undeniable authority. "Sit." It wasn't a request. I sat. "We're hosting a private diplomatic gala this evening," she continued, getting straight to the point, "and I need someone to blend in with the male staff. One of our undercover agents fell sick." I just blinked at her, confused. "Blend in." She raised a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. "You'll be posing as one of the waiters." "A man. It's a classified operational questions asked." I opened my mouth to protest, to say literally anything. But the way she looked at me like defiance ain't even a concept she entertained made my words completely vanish. So, 2 hours later, I found myself standing in front of a mirror, looking at a stranger. I was in a crisp suit, my hair was tucked tightly under a cap, and someone had even dabbed fake stubble onto my jawline. I barely recognized myself. Just then, the president entered the room. She stopped short, freezing for a moment. Her gaze swept over me, slowly, deliberately, and I saw something flicker in her eyes. It was gone as quickly as it came. "Well?" she murmured, stepping closer, her presence filling the small space. "You clean up nicely, ... Mr. Carter?" Her voice had this teasing, velvety edge to it that sent a weird little flutter through my stomach. "Madam President," I managed to say, trying desperately to keep my cool. She smirked, a small, private smile, just for me. "Call me Amelia. Tonight, you're not working under me or working asterisk with asterisk Mia." I had no idea what she meant by that, but it became clear very, very quickly. Throughout the gala, Amelia was the perfect picture of a president's shaking hands, exuding an aura of absolute control. But under the table, she'd slip me these little coded notes telling me where to move, who to watch. It dawned on me then that this wasn't just a disguise, it was a real high-stakes secret operation. Someone at this very gala was leaking government information, and we were here to find them. But what I didn't expect, what I could have never prepared for, was just how close Amelia and I would have to get to pull this off. It was around midnight when things got really intense. She leaned in close, her breath warm against my ear, and whispered, "They're watching us. If they think you're just my guard, we're compromised. We need to act intimate." "Intimate," I whispered back, my voice cracking embarrassingly. Her lips curved into a daring, almost wicked smile. Convincing. Before I could even process what she was saying, She grabbed my tie and pulled me out onto the nearest balcony. The night air hit my face, cold and sharp, but honestly, all I could feel was her. The heat radiating from her body, the scent of her perfume, the intensity in her eyes. "Follow my lead," she breathed, her voice a low murmur. And then ... she kissed me. At first, it was just supposed to be an act, a cover, a way to sell our story to whoever was watching. But the second her lips touched mine, the entire world just ... disappeared. The chaos of the gala, the danger of the mission, the fear that had been my constant companion all night, it all blurred into a silent, white noise. Her hand slid up to my cheek, her fingers trembling just the tiniest bit, and that little tremor, that tiny betrayal of her perfect composure, told me everything. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't just for show for her, either. When she finally pulled away, we were both breathless. "That should do it," she said softly, her voice somehow lower and huskier than before. In the dim moonlight, I could have sworn I saw a faint blush on her face. But before I could say a word, she turned and walked back inside, her presidential composure perfectly restored. The mission was a success. No one suspected a thing. The mole was caught, and my undercover role was over. Or so I thought. The next morning, I received a message, just 3 words, Oval Office. Now, my heart did that familiar hammering thing again. When I arrived, she was standing by the window, bathed in the morning sunlight, looking absolutely ethereal. "You did well last night," she said, without turning around. "Better than I expected." "Thank you, Madam President," I murmured, my voice barely a whisper. She finally turned to face me, and her eyes, usually so sharp and analytical, had softened. "You can drop the madam." My heart stuttered. "Amelia." She gave a faint, beautiful smile. "About last night. The kiss. It worked perfectly as a distraction." She paused, her gaze holding mine. "But it also distracted me." My breath caught in my throat. "Oh." She took a step closer, the soft click of her heels on the marble floor echoing in the silent room. "Tell me, Ms. Carter, did it mean anything to you?" I hesitated for a fraction of a second, but lying to the president was never an option. Especially not now. "Yes," I said, my voice firm. "It did." Her gaze locked with mine, unreadable, but so intense. Then she whispered, almost to herself, "Good," because it wasn't part of the plan. And before I could react, before I could even breathe, she kissed me again. This time, there was no audience, no mission, no disguise. Just her and me in the middle of the Oval Office, with the whole world waiting outside. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a new video. See you next time!